The Texans are the 27th ranked passing defense, and the Browns have been passing pretty well recently. The Texans give up a lot of passing yards. Joe Flacco throws for a lot of passing yards. He throws those picks, I know. But he throws for a lot of passing yards. The Texans give up a lot of passing yards. So that would indicate the offense should be able to move. Okay, but let's look ahead next week. Really intriguing matchup against the Texans. I'm going to let you get into that first. What do you think we can expect from this game?
Well, talking about the playoffs, it's just really interesting to transition to our game against the Texans, because who knows, that might be our matchup for all we know. The South is up for grabs, and we don't know for sure, but it seems likely the Browns could finish with the number one wildcard seed and play the winner of the AFC South division. So we'll see. This is a big game. Playing the Texans. CJ Stroud should be back. CJ Stroud obviously being a very dynamic quarterback, having a lot of great games this year. However, Tank Dell is out. That is the number one receiver. I will also say that I feel that the Browns' struggles of defense on the road has been a little overestimated because Denzel Ward was out. I think if Denzel Ward is in, it's different. I will admit, I think some of the pass rush hasn't been as good on the road, but with Denzel Ward, the coverage is so good. Whereas when we play on the road, and you get into these issues where Ward was out for several of those games, and then whenever Emerson was lined up with a fast receiver, we were in trouble. With Ward healthy, and it seems he would be healthy next week, he hasn't been injured, so assuming he's healthy for this game and stays healthy, and without Tank Dell, it's just going to be hard to throw the ball. Now, they have a run game, don't get me wrong. Devin Singletary has been playing really well for him, so don't count that out, but you can put a little focus in on that run game when you have those kind of corners and Tank Dell is out. You don't have that number one option coming at you. It just seems on a talent level, you really have the talent to add up. You got to watch out for CJ Stroud. You don't know what he's going to do. He's a guy with that kind of talent, which you can never underestimate. But on paper, it lines up that the defense should give him so much problems that we should be okay. Now, on the Brown side, we've had some struggles on the O-line recently from the offensive side, and you do have to watch out. This Texans D-line is playing really, really, really well lately. They've gotten an infusion late in the season in the interior from a man named Khalil Davis from the USFL, my favorite league in the world. But yes, he's been actually playing really well. And they played really well last week. They are causing havoc. So the Browns, look, they've done a really good job of adjusting this year. Adjusted really well, actually, this past game to the pass rush. They're going to have to do that again. Be aware that the pass rush will get through a fair amount of the time. So you need to have a game plan how to deal with that, because they're going to cause some problems. And so you're going to be able to deal with that to get things open, maybe get some more screenplays for Ford, try to get the defense moving side to side a little bit, and still make use of a guy like Ford, who is really talented and can do a lot for you, as we've seen, and a little quiet lately, so let's get him involved. But the talent is there. Overall, again, if Tank Dell was in, I'm not so sure where to put this, especially if he was in and Ward was out. But with Ward being in and Tank Dell being out, even though the Texans are hungry, and we're on the road, I think the Browns, our team this year, has proven that they're finding ways to win. And in a big moment, with that kind of on-paper advantage, they do. I think it is close. I'm going to say the final is 24-17. Browns win.
Okay, and not that far off from mine. Before I get into that, well, not before I, before I give my actual score prediction. So a couple things I want to talk about here. So the Texans are the 27th ranked passing defense, and the Browns have been passing pretty well recently. The Texans give up a lot of passing yards. Joe Flacco throws for a lot of passing yards. Here's those picks, I know. But he throws for a lot of passing yards. The Texans give up a lot of passing yards. So that would indicate the offense should be able to move. Second point, the Texans are actually 7th on run defense, which kind of surprised me. But the Browns' run game has been stuttering a little bit as of late. They've still been pretty good in like short yard situations, not this game, but overall, even the games where they weren't running so well, they were still pretty good in short run situations where they really needed it. But the run game has been stuttering a little. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. The numbers would indicate this isn't the game that it's going to come back. Hopefully we can, at least to some degree, like get 80 yards out of our guy, 90 yards, something like that. Maybe it won't be an explosive game, but get something more consistently we would like to see, because Joe Flacco was throwing a lot in this last game. But another thing is the Texans are the second in passing yards. So, I mean, it's really CJ Stroud, but the Texans are second in the league in passing yards. The Browns are the number one defense as far as passing yards allowed. So you got a number one offense, number two defense matching up. Who's going to win? A movable object meets a unstoppable force, that kind of thing, whatever it's called. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Unstoppable force meets a movable object.
Yeah, okay, great. Wow, look at me. Right off the top of my head. So you think it's going to look like something like that, but the Texans played the Jets a couple weeks ago. The Jets are another number 3 ranked team. And the Jets destroyed them 30-6. The Texans couldn't do anything. And yes, Tank Dell was out, but Tank Dell's going to be out this game too. So it's pretty 1-1, right? Jets are at number 3, Browns at number 1. The Texans have shown that they can be shut down by a good defense, by a good pass defense. The Browns are a very good pass defense. I see them continuing that. I see them shutting down the Texans for the most part. I'm not saying they score 4 points, but I see them doing a really good job against them. And I see this game finishing. I think Joe Flacco is going to be able to move. I think the defense is going to be able to get it done, do what they need to do. The Texans might get some garbage time points, but I see the Browns winning this game 27-17.
Yeah, I think it's definitely within range. The only thing we got to watch out for the Browns is they do have a pretty good run game. Singletary and Dameon Pierce. And the Browns on the road have struggled with the run a little bit. With the Broncos game, we really saw that. The only advantage, again, is that without the receiving game that the Broncos have and what they were doing in the pass game, I think they can overcompensate a little bit. So that's why I think they'll make it work.
Yeah, I mean, that's something you got to look out for. But I think the Browns will continue to roll this game. They're not going to clinch a playoff spot, but they're going to essentially clinch it, I think, after this game. All but clinch it, I guess I should say. But, yeah, I think we're going to...
But then again, you definitely want to play for that number 1 playoff seed, because that's the difference between playing, a team like the Jaguars or maybe the Colts or something like that, or alternatively playing a team like the Chiefs. Seriously, the Chiefs are the 3 seed right now.
Right.
So in Arrowhead. So definitely important, not just to clinch a playoff spot, but to get that top wild card spot.